Hey, what's going on? I'm Corey and I run a five-figure AI automation business. And today we're going to go through why your automations aren't working, whether you've done it in the past or you've doing it right now and it's just not moving the needle. We're going to dive into it today and we're going to really explain what's actually happening. So let's jump into it. So anyone who's implemented automation, maybe it's your first time, maybe many times, but you'll know there's always a point where you are like this. It's nothing's working. You've put it in and you have these huge high hopes and you're going to make so much money or you're going to free up all this time and get zero staff. And then you sort of sit there and nothing changes. I mean, we've all been through it. We've all sort of fallen trap and victim to the hype, I guess you could call it. And this really falls into this. Everyone's talking about it, but what if I told you most automations change absolutely nothing? Um, they often don't move the needle if you don't put it in the right place. It's not a magic be-all, cure-all type of thing. Most people will sort of chuck it in and then they'll be like, oh, great. Now I can fire my whole staff. or, or they'll do some crazy action within the business and then realize now they're like in a double negative. And it doesn't make a positive, and regardless of what math says. But now they're sort of the AI doesn't work, plus the staff isn't there anymore, and this is a huge issue. Um, they run, they fire, they work, but it doesn't move the needle. So let's break down why this is 90% of businesses. They often, the setup changes, but nothing changes. Why is this? The automation's running, the leads don't grow, the revenue stays flat, and you're still in the weeds. Very, very common symptom with most people. And the problem is the word symptom, as I just said. They're not adjusting the system. It's like the common health industry thing where you're getting the pills rather than actually fixing the actual problem. Another analogy for this as well is it's like painting, a car, but there's no engine. So I've got it in here, over here, and you sort of paint all this and look all nice. And maybe the paint is the automation and you're making a nice sky blue color. And then you go to start it and you turn it on and nothing happens. You turn on the automation, nothing happens. Leads aren't increasing, staffing, resources aren't being freed up. And the big problem is there's no engine. And this can be related. So the engine would be the system, and the paint is sort of the symptom. So you're painting over it and saying, yeah, this is cool. And this is a huge thing. So most people automate the visible tasks and not the actual bottlenecks. So where people might think, they might think their issue is sort of over here and they need to hit this point. What actually might be is it's way over here and they're standing bow. It's a bow. And they're shooting in here. But really, this is just the mask of the symptom. A common one that I see in the businesses all the time is lead generation. So people will just think it's a quantity thing. I need to just automate and get far more quantity. So they'll set everything up and they'll go and they'll send thousands and thousands of emails. But the issue then isn't this may be the quantity, but what really has happened is the market just doesn't want it. Or maybe they're approaching the market wrong. So they eliminate this with the automation and a nice, friendly robot comes in and does this. But then this is still the fire. It looks like a crown, but it's a fire. And this is a huge issue. The issue number 2, they have a broken funnel, which sort of flows into this lead generation type thing. So there's no strategy. They're implementing the wrong automations. They think they're hitting this bullseye, and this is the problem. But really, it's It's not. It's a different issue where if they had a roadmap, they could see, okay, this may be an issue, but it's stemming from this other issue, which may be a no strategy, no funnel, something's broken, business model is a bit wrong. So it's sort of comes back to a broken funnel does not equal broken tech. And when you automate, you obviously amplify what's currently happening. So what you're doing is you're automating and accelerating this sort of garbage in, garbage out, because you're not addressing the true failure. And third and most common one that everyone, and I mean, this is probably majority of that 90% are doing, is they're just building the systems. They're not building the flows, and they're not watching the metrics. They're watching the metrics, sorry, not the triggers. So what they need to do is the system works without you. The automation is just noise. So you need to keep this in mind when you're implementing systems. You need to say, is this just noise? Am I just doing it to automate a task, or am I doing it to automate an outcome? A very good example of this is, say you're a recruiter and you want to automate. Possibly you just like, I hate doing resumes. I don't want to review resumes anymore. I'm just going to automate the whole thing. But by just automating that singular task, you're missing out on the outcome. So what I mean by that is you might be automating this resume here solely to get that off your plate. But why not automate the whole task, the whole outcome, which would be screening this plus storing database plus contacting plus assessing. So where an automator might, a HR person might come in and they might just say, ChatGPT, read this. Is this good? Rather than doing that, what is the outcome? Well, the outcome's to work out if it's a good candidate, and if it is a good candidate, do they meet the standards of the current job that we have advertised or that we're searching for this candidate? And this is where this automate the outcomes and not the task, rather than just do a singular task like this and then expect something to change, because it's not. All you're going to do is just input one thing. So one thing comes in, this is to AI, human, and then AI sends another thing. It's like a negative, right? So where if you could do human and you could get it to do the outcome, which is assessing it and working out whether it's good for jobs, what actually happens is you're automating like this, and then it's only sending back one. So it moves the needle a lot more. You're automating a whole outcome here, and this outcome is a hire for the company or for revenue coming into the business. And what it's doing is it's just spitting out one. Yes, this person's good. You should give them to this person. This is a good candidate. Your interview's next week. I've scheduled it up. Rather than giving it, hey, is this a good resume? Comes back, yes. Now what? So automate the outcome, not just the task, is the point we're trying to get at here. And to round off this video, which would be a nice short, punchy video, real automation starts with architecture, with strategy, with a clear goal, and reverse engineering everything around it. You should be looking at the end goal and you should say, okay, this is what I want. Let's go backwards. Rather than looking at, this is a pain in my ass right now. I need this off my plate. It then becomes that one-on-one exchange. You give one to the AI gives one back, and you don't really get anywhere. If you're automating but not growing, it's time to stop. You need to stop chasing shiny tools and build something that actually works. So build a system and an architecture. Build the endpoint first, identify where we're going, and build backwards from there. You want to say, this is our finish line. Looks like goalpost, but this is our finish line. What do we need for this? Okay, we need this to automate. We need this to automate. And then you sort of go back and then you hit the task and you say, this one was the task that I absolutely hated and I wanted to automate. So this is this task. But by doing this, now you've eliminated the whole outcome. So now, rather than doing just this is getting done, and you're hitting the goals. So I hope that helps and I hope that clarifies. Automate the outcomes, fix the broken funnel, and make sure there's a strategy, and make sure that you're treating the system and not the symptom, i.e. make sure you're targeting the right things that's causing the issues and the bottlenecks, and not the actual one task that's causing you the pain. So with that, have a great day. If you like this content, or if you have any questions, put the comments in below, and like and subscribe for the next video, which will be tomorrow.